All right, everybody.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome
We
to
got
it.
to figure out what
I know we got to figure this
you're
out.
going.
All right, I'll
Go
start.
ahead.
I'll start up. All right, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of the Animeyhem podcast. Tonight it's just me and Joel. Our guests got pulled away to other things. I was really sad because Taylor Anime Review hit me up and he was like, "I'm sorry, I'm out of town this Thursday." I was trying to get him on. And if you guys don't know who that is, go check him out. He's formerly known as the oh god, how what was his old screen name? The Weeb God of Anime. Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. He's such a cool dude. I was really hoping to get him on tonight. But let's get right into it, Joel. What did you read this week?
This week I have not done a great deal of reading. Is I'm on spring break, so I'm doing a lot at home with my kids from like 6 to like 8, and then I'm pretty much spent. So I'm doing mostly playing, but some of the things that I have gotten to read are I was reading Overlord for a little bit. I might be starting to sink back into isekai. I'm probably sure. I'm pretty sure that's coming very soon. Um, but other than that, I have been continuing reading into different Flashpoint
Nice.
reads, which is kind of like the one of the most important moments in all of DC. If you haven't read Flashpoint, check it out. Like anything like an anime, there's filler, so you can pick which you can read the main continuum, you can read the side ones. That's what's great about comic books.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I've been reading.
See, there's also a big disparity between comic books and manga, and people are like, "Oh, if you're not a manga reader, then you're not getting the complete story." Because in comic books, you buy like 4 issues of Spider-Man, then they'll say the story continues in Kingpin issue 3. Like, and people get mad about that because then they want to continue reading that story, but they have to go buy a whole nother series to understand what's going on. Um, but yeah,
And
that's
that's actually, believe it or not, there's some I weirdly, it's like one of those weird facts I just kind of know. So that is a lot driven from the newspaper itself, because where you would read on the front page like I don't know, Penny Parker assassinated so and so, continue on page 80 A4. And I think that's kind of where that stems from.
yep. For me this week, I have continued my reading through Soul Land. I am coming up on the end of possibly the greatest arc, the greatest tournament slash championship arc I've ever read in fiction, and it is
You were
just
saying that, yeah.
it is just so good. It is so good. They expose things that you didn't see coming. They explain how the previous arc affects this arc. Then they bust out things that you didn't even know was possible. It just every issue something new is happening and something amazing is happening and the characters are finding themselves. It's so good. I also dipped into a new one. Oh, sorry. I am also continuing the read of a manhwa called Level Up Alone, and this is the solo level up system meets Kaiju number 8.
That's cool. You were
Yeah.
telling me about that.
So it's getting really really good where I'm at now. Then I discovered another one called The World After the Fall, and this is about a guy that so in Earth, just everybody's living their lives, and all of a sudden in major cities across the world, these towers fall from space and just land on Earth, and monsters start pouring out of them, and people start awakening abilities. And the rule of the game is once you fight through the monsters and then enter the tower, you can't leave the tower until you defeat the 99th floor of the tower. Well, this dude defeats the 99th floor of the tower, and he defeats the guy orchestrating the whole thing just to find himself in this world like it's in between. It's literally the land of the dead, but he's still alive. So it's a living person going through the land of the dead and having to struggle with their politics. It's kind of, well, not really political, but it's just so cool. Like it's a really really good read. I sat down to read it, and the next thing I know, it's 35 chapters in. I also started reading another one called "I Regressed to My Ruined Family," and it starts out with a war between dragons and humans, and then during the like this noble guy, he's in a fight with the Dragon King, and the Dragon King kills him, and then he wakes up and he's regressed 15 years, but he wakes up and everybody's like, "You've been in a coma for 10 years," and I'm like, "Wait, so was everything he did in his previous life just a dream?" But then he discovers that he has all of his skills and everything from his previous life. He has all of his knowledge, everything. He starts using that to rebuild his family because he went from a noble family to being like the head of a noble family to being the head of an exiled noble family. And now he's got to put everything back together. So it's really good. The other one I checked out this week is called Taming Master, and this is like Shangri-La Frontier meets Digimon.
Okay.
And
I'm not. I liked Digimon, but I didn't love Digimon.
Or better yet, it's like Shangri-La Frontier meets Pokemon.
Okay.
So a kid goes into a VR game. He plays an archer sniper class and completes a quest. And you're like, "Hey, would you like to be reborn after an update?" And he's like, "Should I reset my level 99 character?" And he decides to reset his character, and he brings up a new class called Tamer, and he ends up stumbling into hidden world quests and everything else, and it's really good. He ends up taming a wolf that the story is about him and this wolf, and it is him unlocking the final form of this wolf, which turns out to be like a badass werewolf looking thing. It's just really cool. So it was a pretty good read too. I am currently on chapter 98 of it. Or sorry, I'm on chapter 80. So I read that in one day. So I was like, it's super easy read, super easy story to follow. Twists and turns. The art is great. It's a little bit better than Beginning After the End, not as good as Solo Leveling. So just to put a damper on it. But that's pretty much everything I read this week. So yeah, definitely go check them all out if you guys can find them.
Is it possible to put? I don't know. Are we allowed to put links to where you can find them in the description?
So here's the issue. I discovered them on an app called Miho. And what Miho does is it's an app that you cannot get on any Play Store or I don't know what iPhone uses, so sorry, like App Store, I guess. You have to be able to download the APK, and then you have to go and get all the source index files from another website, and then once you link those, and then you start downloading different sources that you want, when you search for a manga or a manhwa, it'll scan every source and then say, "Hey, we have this one and it has 50 issues already." Or you can go to this website and it has this many issues. It's an amazing app. So I don't know. Like, I will try and find them and you guys can link them otherwise, but I will put a list of manhwas and mangas I am reading in the description of the video.
Yeah, that's yeah, good idea.
So yeah, guys, if you can hit that subscribe and like button, that'd really help with us. But Joel, what did you watch this week?
So I made a TikTok about this recently today. I saw the Minecraft movie about 4 times, and I uh, did not go to the movie theaters to see it. So I'll put it down. You can pick it up however you want to.
Dude, somebody
Uh,
live streamed it on TikTok. Like, it's out there. Like,
yeah.
dude, people are live
So
streaming it everywhere. I watched part of the movie just scrolling through TikTok. So
um, and I didn't want to bring my kids into the movie theater with the whole chicken jockey thing. I didn't want them getting hit. Like my oldest daughter doesn't react well to sudden loud noises.
yeah,
Um, so we stay home and watch it, and my children had a vague understanding of what they've watched me play Minecraft a couple times, but they loved this movie. Like we watched it twice today alone, and the thing is, if you just really love Minecraft, it's a great movie. It's a lot of fun, and just go with it. Characters' backstories, except for like no, you know what? Their backstories genuinely just don't even matter. They don't matter. They're fun. Then they tell you just enough about them, except for the black girl. Like literally, you can remove her. Nothing would change about the movie whatsoever. And I feel bad because she's a lot of fun too. Um, but Jason Momoa's character is a lot of fun, and
only reason my
all
wife
the
saw that
characters are
movie.
different. What?
Jason Momoa is the only reason my wife saw that movie. My wife took my son to see it in theaters, and she said the chicken jockey thing was the worst part of the movie. Like, somebody brought a blowhorn into the freaking theater for that part.
So yeah, but I'll get to that. That whole thing. So it was a lot of fun. Like I said, if you just like if you take it for what it is, it's somebody who really loves Minecraft made a Minecraft movie, and it's by the same guy who brought you Nacho Libre and Napoleon Dynamite. So if you enjoy those quirky movies, which I actually really do, Napoleon Dynamite reminds me of high school with my friends, and it was just such a I don't know, it doesn't matter. So that level of humor, and then Jack Black holds this movie up with one hand. You could tell he's putting 100% into this role as Steve, and I think a lot of kids now are going to assimilate Steve with that
Dude,
Steve.
they already gave Steve a beard on Minecraft.
Yeah, I have that skin. Like they gave to their credit too. They put in updates and they're updating this game still, which is great.
Oh, dude,
Um,
Minecraft can never die. They've had a constant, like, I think the lowest they ever dipped in players on Steam was like 20,000. Like, they've been
and
holding it top.
the game is one of those games that is completely timeless. It will last forever. It's like
Yeah.
Skyrim. It
Uh,
will last forever.
we will talk about Skyrim here in a few minutes because yeah. Well, Minecraft became people's comfort game over the 2020 lockdowns, and where people were playing Minecraft, I can't stand it because it's 8-bit hell to me. Um, I just I can't do it. Like, my brother tried getting me into Minecraft. My son loves Minecraft. I can't do it. I can't. Um,
Uh, One of the reasons I really enjoyed it allows my ADHD brain to soothe itself and go on an adventure. You can do literally you could if you want to role play, fucking role play. If
yeah,
you want to play survival mode, fucking play survival mode. Like
yeah,
it's there's so much you can do, and it just like really fuels my creative
yeah. That
side, and
and
it lets me.
that's exactly why I started playing Genshin. Like, that's literally why I started playing Genshin. Genshin is my comfort
Yeah,
game. Like, I go back to it all the freaking time, and no matter how long
that's
I take a break,
Fallout.
I go back.
That's
So
Fallout New Vegas for me. So
yeah,
I'm always welcome. I'm at my most comfortable in the Mojave Wasteland. Um,
yeah,
but in any case, so the movie was a lot of fun. and there was so much fan service. There were so many Easter eggs. There were so many people who were honored in the movie because like the people who made it like were real fans, and they got people who legitimate. I know a lot of people how they feel about content creators and original content creators, like old like PewDiePie stuff, uh, and if they're like fake or whatever. I always thought if there were several Minecraft people that were legitimate, that really loved playing the game and sharing it with people, and Markiplier. Those are the only people I find genuine on this platform. Um, but
See,
there, it
I
was there was good stuff.
I also missed like I was also in a gap of all of that like internet history because uh, when I was in the army, I didn't really have YouTube and stuff. And then when I got out, I was working 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Like, I didn't have time for YouTube. So, like, my days off, I was freshly married. Like, it was a hard, you know, trying to be a nerd back then. So, and on top of that, everybody in my life was like Seattle Seahawks, and we were like my one day off a week was Sunday, so it was the Hawks game or nothing. So,
Um, in any case, I do highly recommend you check it out. The visuals were really nice. Like they were very pleasant to look at, very comforting, bright colors. Um, the you could tell that when you were in the overworld or the nether, like this was when you're like the other stuff was funny, it was great, it tied together nicely, it was a very simple story, but it was carried by all of these visuals and these entertaining moments and these references and these oh that right there, yeah, that's oh the pig's got a crown, that's like it's and that leads me to the crowd. So the worst thing about this movie is the Minecraft subredditors because they
oh,
will
whoa,
literally.
hold up. You're saying Reddit is horrible people? I feel like the
I mean,
definition of horrible people is Reddit.
trust the process.
Oh,
Trust the process. Um, they nitpick everything. Like they go out of their way to deep dive into code that was once thought by uh, the hero bride. It doesn't matter. They tear it apart because like, oh, because the chicken's waddle didn't have 8 squares on it, like that kind of shit.
okay.
However, it's also the Minecraft subreddit people that make this so great because there are people on the subreddit that genuinely love the game. Those are the people that are going to the theaters. They are doing the chicken jockey, and it brings back that wonderful feeling of going to like midnight matinees and being like, dude, like, and then going to work at like the next morning and be like, I just saw uh, episode 3, and like right, I just got out of it 2 hours ago. That was a really cool feeling, and that's where I was coming from. Like seeing the Avengers in theaters was a lifetime experience that people will never get to feel. So I really like
Yeah.
that interaction. I think it really goes back to Tim Curry. I'm just a transvestite. What is? Oh my God, Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know
Yeah.
when they're like, host,
Yeah. Oh,
lend me
you're
your
talking.
ear.
Yeah. Yeah. That the last time I had that feeling was when I went and seen The Force Awakens in theaters, and I was so excited to talk about it the next day. And like that new Star Wars high was something awesome. And then the next time really felt that was episode 1 of The Mandalorian. I could not wait to talk about that. It was so good. So,
You know,
yeah.
I distinctly have this beautiful feeling, this unbelievable, like real childish Star Wars love for the Phantom Menace when it was coming back because I had just seen episode 4, 5, and 6 with my dad when they went back into theaters,
Yep.
and that was That was I think that was the real point in time when I fell in love with Star Wars. When I got to see those, and I was watching my dad really fall in love with them again because he was there for the originals. And my dad is that old-fashioned work 80 hours a week kind of guy. Um, but I was so blown away by all these things I really didn't know about Star Wars and really going into it with the Phantom Menace. And there was this really cool card game that I played. It was popular for about 47 minutes. I had every card within the first 2 weeks. And I remember the Darth Sidious card was extremely rare because at the time you didn't know who he was, but you knew who he was.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You
so
you do know they never actually call him Darth Sidious throughout the original series, and they don't say his name. They don't even say Palpatine until Star Wars Episode 1. He is literally known as the Emperor for 4, 5, and 6.
I thought they did call him Darth. This, like, there was a quote where there was like, "We shall see about this Darth Sidious,"
No,
or something of that nature.
that
Yeah,
was
like 6 episodes.
that was in Episode 1 with the
It was Dooku.
with Dooku. No, yeah, with Dooku.
Yeah.
No, it was with the not the Geonosians. It was with the Trade Federation guys.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know about this Darth Sidious, which I find funny that George Lucas was making fun of Bernie Sanders with them.
Why?
It's just so funny to me. But yeah, I don't want to get us on a Star Wars rant, but if I just got to tell this quick story. So growing up until I was like 10 years old, I stared at the VHSs of Star Wars for the longest time. And I like on movies nights, I'd be like, "Dad, let's watch this." I was like, it had a dude with a light sword like on the cover of it, and I was like, "Dad, let's watch this." And he was like, "No." And like I would hear it after because my dad would watch it at night after we went to bed, but I wasn't able to ever watch it. So I was like, "What is this movie?" And finally, all three of them came out in the local theater, and my dad was like, "Let's go," and I was like, "Yeah!" And they did this like it was like dollar matinees, and they would do like Indiana Jones, and they would do double features of that, and then they did marathon nights, and they did the Star Wars trilogy marathon night where you would watch a movie, there would be a 30-minute break, watch the second movie, 30-minute break, watch the third movie. Place shuts down at midnight. Like this was, and it was always a packed house. Like the theater would only play one movie on like 2 screens, and getting tickets to it was like an event.
That's cool.
So my dad got tickets for it, and he took us, and I got to watch all 3 movies for the very first time, the original releases on the big screen in literally 1990. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, that, and ever since then I've been in love with Star Wars. I went home and I read all the I every time I see a Star Wars comic, I read it. The books I read. I was a Star Wars nuts from then on. So yeah, it's always trying to.
Pretty cool.
And I've only felt that same feeling of watching the original Star Wars 3 more times in my life, and that was watching The Phantom Menace in theaters. And I get it, there are fans out there that don't like The Phantom Menace. Shut up.
You really.
Then again with The Force Awakens. Shut up. And then episode 1 of The Mandalorian. Shut up. I know you haters are out there. Shut up.
We do have a tremendously forgiving and beautiful fan base to Star Wars.
True. But yeah, that is. I'm looking forward to Andor season 2 just because I want that feeling again. And Andor was super good.
I literally thought you said and or like and slash or. I'm like, and or what season?
No, no, no. And
Some people are thinking
or
it should be
Andor.
by the way.
No, I like the fact that they
Hmm.
named him Andor because it's literally like and or.
But my question is as following. So is Mandor, because believe it or not, I have not seen Andor yet. Um, but is it kind of feel like Rogue One esque?
Okay, yes, it kind of feels like Rogue One, but let's do a better comparison is like Star Wars meets Prison Break.
Okay, because I do really like Rogue One.
Yeah, it is Rogue, like it's all the characters from Rogue One except for one. And yeah, but it's the story of Andor and how he became an agent for the Resistance, and he breaks out of a prison.
Um, I'm sorry, I feel like they should have done an entire show on. Oh my God, who survived literally the entire franchise? Was it Biggs or Wedge?
I think it was Wedge.
I think it was Wedge. Yeah, because Biggs died because he was the one. Yeah, okay.
He died with.
They should have done a show about he literally survived across the entire franchise, like as a part of Red Squadron.
You know,
All major battles.
I have to confirm this, but in every single Final Fantasy, there's also a Biggs and Wedge. I'm wondering if that's a Star Wars reference.
It is. Yeah,
right.
there's absolutely. Yep, they are huge Star Wars fans at Square Central.
Yeah.
So yes, there is always a Biggs and a Wedge in every Final Fantasy, just like there is a Chocobo, there is a Bomb, there is a Tonberry in every single Final Fantasy. There is a Cid in every single Final Fantasy.
There's also a Moogle in every single one.
Correct. Every different variation.
Yes. Honestly, people.
There's one game that doesn't actually have a Moogle, and I forget which one it is.
Oh, you know what? I think it might be Final Fantasy 3.
Might just. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yes, go and check out the Minecraft movie if you can. You can bite the bullet and spend $25. You could just buy it from Amazon right now. So
no, I will tell you this right now: never buy digital. You know why? I bought Final Fantasy VII Advent Children digital, and I made sure to get the package with the English dub too. Tell me why they reduced the package all the way down to Japanese, no subtitles.
Couldn't tell you, man.
I don't speak Japanese,
but I will tell you, the Blu-ray release of that movie is 100% better because there are more scenes in it. And they altered the battle with Sephiroth and Cloud at the end.
Nice.
There's one scene, and I remember getting up and actually completely fangirling over Sephiroth because I'm gay for Sephiroth. And he was like, at one point, coming down with Cloud and constantly stabbing him through the hands and the chest and the stomach with the Masamune just. And it looked so sharp and painful, and Cloud was all bloody. It was amazing. Nice. Only in Blu-ray.
Yeah, I definitely have to get the Blu-ray version of it. I need to get it because I'm really excited because the next Final Fantasy VII Remake edition is finally dropping on Steam soon. So I'm hoping I'm able to swoop that up. I mean, I still need to get Monster Hunter too.
I will tell you this as a very old, tried and true, defend it to my grave, that I love Final Fantasy VII. I love Final Fantasy VII so much, I cannot get into the remakes.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I played the first remake and I loved it, but I was like, This is like Final Fantasy VII if you're hearing about it from a guy that heard about it from a guy.
And I get it. I understand. It's beautiful. It's really nice to relive these and go back to things. But I really feel like I'm speaking for real, like, and I don't mean to be like, oh, I'm a real fan, but like true Final Fantasy VII fans when I do say, listen, the subject matter is right here. Just take it and make it pretty.
Yeah.
Like that's it. You don't have
Well,
to change it.
the
You don't have to.
so the problem, the what I found out, like this is the dirty dark secret, is the 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 original writer of Final Fantasy VII, who is not working on the remakes. He
Mm-hmm.
he died, and he owned the copyright to the story. So they're like, we can't do a true 100% remake or just remastering of it, so we have to do a remake. And what where people are disappointed with it is they wanted Final Fantasy VII pretty, and what they got was, hey, this is Final Fantasy VII, kinda.
It's it's like it's like the flavor of Final Fantasy VII, but like a diet version of it.
It's banana candy
It's banana candy,
because
which by the way is Valencia banana, which is extinct.
yes,
I learned that useless fact.
yes. So
Now,
if you've ever had banana candy, you know that it tastes, and if you've ever had a Valencia banana, you know it tastes like Valencia banana. But if you ever had a banana and then you go eat banana candy, you're like, that doesn't taste right.
not at all.
That's how Final Fantasy VII remake feels to me. It's banana candy.
Do you know when I decided, like truly decided that this wasn't for me, but I couldn't say anything because I would be going against this colossal wave of people who, and I'll still catch shit for this, even if I make a video that's truthful and sincere, which I'm going to. I fell out of love with it when I fought Sephiroth in the first game.
Mm.
Do you want to know
So
my issue with this? Is
it takes away the mystery and build up for that Sephiroth fight.
Sephiroth was in the first disc, which, by the way, I'm sorry, they could have put the whole experience on one game. Fuck you, I'm sorry. Like that, and we all knew it, and we still went for it. Anyways, Sephiroth, you just heard about him on the first disc. He was a whisper and a vision, and and you were like, oh, that was an interesting flavor. Is there more of that? Oh yes, there's more on the second disc. A lot more, a little bit more than you paid for. Are you sure you want this flavor? Yes, I do. But in the remake, they were like, here, let's have this unbelievably wicked, cool, kind of difficult fight with Rufus, which was absolutely amazing. Game should have ended right after that. It was an outstanding battle, and they made him he's my favorite part of all of this is they made him much cooler. But then you fight Sephiroth, it's like, why am I doing this now? Like,
It was very out of place.
It didn't. It like they did it because they were like, oh yeah, there's gonna be dudes who are like, yeah. And for some point, I started, but um, it just wasn't. It didn't. I was like, oh, this feels dirty and wrong and like fan servicey, tongue in
So
super
so the big problem I have with turn-based RPGs, and this has always been a problem for me. I can't not do it. So it happens every single time. I overlevel. I search every crevice. I look for every item.
Why? You know why? Because you're a Zelda kid. You're a Mario.
Hold on. That's actually not where it comes from. I'll tell you where it comes from. But I also have this really bad knack of I have to kill every creature until I know for a fact I've got all their drops. Okay? If a creature drops a weapon, I want it. And I will never sell them. But this actually comes from the game Crystallis. Because you gotta look everywhere in that game for everything. Or else you will get lost.
If you know this, listen, we're both old. Okay? Let's listen. If you've heard of one of these two games, I'm genuinely impressed. Number one, have you heard of the game? It's right here because I'm fucking playing it because I need nostalgia. It's a game called Dragon Seeds.
Yes, I've heard of that game. I vaguely remember scenes from it, but I know I've heard it.
This is a black back. You sneeze on this hard enough, it will be permanently damaged.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this since I was 8 years old. Somewhere around there, maybe 9. It's fucking flawless. I'm going to stream this. For all those who don't know, you basically have this JRPG that you feel special playing it because nobody got to play this shit.
No.
I got this from a Blockbuster video that accidentally got it. This is like a huge chunk of fate right here. And this was a huge portion of my childhood. And it's basically you play rock, paper, scissors with dragons. That sounds horrible. I'm going to stream this. Now, that's game number 1. Game number 2. Have you ever in your life heard of the game shit I was dragging on because I totally lost my train of thought? Can't remember that second game. Go backwards. You were talking about
Crystallis.
Jade Cocoon.
Yes, I've heard about Jade Cocoon too, but I never got to play it. My brother was a huge fan of it and he hoarded it.
Jade Cocoon 1 was the most banana sandwich game I have ever. You play essentially what is a Native American jungle resident, and you go out and you fight monsters. This is like before Pokemon. This is like way before Pokemon. And you collect pieces of monsters and you fuse them into like your own hybrid monsters, and they get strong and they each have their own elemental aspects. And go YouTube this because the graphics are at some points, like if you try to look at it today, you might have a stroke because it's so many. It's like Legend of Dragoon, but like worse.
It looks like Grandia 1 in South America.
Yeah. It looks just like South American Grandia 1. It really does. And I distinctly remember there was this one. The game is very difficult. It's genuinely hard. And they don't tell you anything. It's so hard to determine where to go and what to do. And there's one point where the maps are muddied and pixelated, so I didn't know I had to go to the left. There's this one path to the left, and this is in a generation where you don't play games for like a couple of weeks, and then you move on to something else because something else is coming out next week. You play games for months, sometimes years, and I found this like little pygmy guy, and he was like, you had to give him treasure, but you had to give him specific treasure so he could tell you hint. Fucking nuts.
It didn't even. So the reason a lot of people never played with it or anything, it had no fanfare whatsoever. It released in November of 1999, Japan in December 3rd of 1998, and it only sold 110,000 copies. So that is like a drop in the bucket. Like that's nothing.
I had one. It was stolen, but I had one.
It honestly looks like a prequel to oh god, what is that? Rogue Galaxy.
Yeah, kind of, huh?
Yeah.
As I look.
It gives a very Rogue Galaxy.
It'll change your life. Go watch YouTube videos.
Yeah. Rogue Galaxy is so good. Honestly,
it is. I reintroduced you to it.
Yes, honestly.
Do you remember playing it?
Do you know why I like Rogue Galaxy so much?
Because it reminds you of Tales games, only it's good, and Tales games are not.
No, because it's a playable treasure planet.
It is. It's a playable. It fits the whole feel and vibe of the whole. It really does.
Okay,
And Treasure Planet is one of my favorite Disney movies.
let's talk about a travesty and a huge dropped ball by Disney. Treasure Planet was planned to be 4 different movies, but the producer behind it did not like it. He didn't even want the movie to come out. He was like, nope. He literally was like, fine, let's just put it out, and he dropped it right at the same time as another hit Disney movie, and it failed.
It is such a colossal cult classic that
Yeah.
I don't know what level of trouble Disney's going to be in for a while with this whole
Jenna
Snow
Ortega,
White situation.
Snow White.
But if Disney wants to come back, like, because they're fucking, I know those diehard weirdo Disney adults who are in their mid 40s, 50s, or 60s that go to Disney World 6 times a year. I know they'll stick with Disney to whatever. It could be on fire. But if they want to come back, they really need to listening to their fans.
No,
Like,
what Disney needs to do is they need to reevaluate their market, because there are fans out there like me and my family who want to go to Disney. I want to go to Galaxy's Edge. I want to build a damn lightsaber. Why? Why is the experience $250 and then you have to buy the lightsaber for more?
You have to go onto Reddit so you can figure out which container contains the black kyber crystal, which does
They
nothing.
fix that. So it's all luck of the draw, and if you get a black crystal, all it does is make your blade glow red. That's it.
And you could just get a red crystal to do that anyways.
Yeah, it should make your blade look like the dark saber.
It should. That would be a great thing. That would be like very. Because remember, a long time ago, Disney was really about like some rare collectible shit. Like,
and they still do it. They want you to feel like it's rare and collectible, but it's really not. Like, you can go online and buy a Disney's black kyber crystal right now. And here's the dirty secret. Here's the dirty secret. If you have a cell phone, okay, that can scan RFD tags, right? You can program an RFD tag to say, hey, shine this color, and then 3D print a black crystal, put the tag inside the crystal while it's printing, and boom, you just made your own black kyber crystal, and there will be zero difference from the Disney one.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to need, the 3D one's going to need a little bit more polish and shine.
Well, no, not really. 4K 3D printers, that thing will come off that block shiny as hell.
Awesome.
Like, you're good.
But I mean, the thing is, I wanted to do that. I desperately wanted to go to, and I planned it out with my wife. I was like, okay, you could take the girls to the princess, whatever. I'm going to Galaxy's Edge because only me and my youngest daughter love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I had my saber all planned out, and I was going to get my violet blade, and I was going to make it out of either Guardian materials or the natural materials. I loved the woods. That was really nice. Silver and wood is really nice. And I wanted that experience because that's really what you're paying for, the experience. Like the lightsaber, you could just go into the store and buy the lightsaber, but you pay for that experience. But $228 is a lot of money.
Yep. And the upgrade package for the electronics for your lightsaber, if you want to get it to where it'll shine any color you want and stuff like that. Well, technically, you have to buy different lightsaber crystals to get it to change different colors, which is a very smart marketing ploy on their hand and lore accurate. So I got to give them that. But it's absolutely ridiculous. I was planning for a family of 5 to go, and to stay off-site, to fly down, hotel, not on the park entrance, Galaxy Edge for 2 people, and then rides and everything for me and my wife and 3 kids. We were looking at $20,000, and I was like,
Isn't that
"How do people afford
absolutely
this?
insane?
Like, how
I
do
don't
people
know.
afford
Like,
that?"
I lived in Florida for a little bit, like for about, I would say, 3 years, and I could tell you that it's a lot cheaper for a Florida resident to go there
Yeah,
because you save a lot as a Florida resident, but you don't want to be a Florida resident. It sucks.
I don't know. I'm thinking retiring in Florida, but no, like not really. My wife would kill me. But going finishing that conversation up. What did you play this week?
So I have been playing the new Monster Hunter updates with the Mizu and the Zoshia, allowing you to fight the final boss again and get its armor set. And it's one of my favorite things about Capcom's DLC, especially with Monster Hunter. A lot of times they'll just give you stuff all the time. Like they'll be like, you paid for any edition. And the thing is, I got the my friend gifted it to me for Christmas. He got me the $100 edition for Monster Hunter, and it only gives you some extra stuff like armor for your lizard chocobo, and you get some decorations. So like it's not huge, but you also get like a free card to, maybe you fucked up with your hunter and you want to change them, so you get a card to change them. They give you one of those. Same thing with your cat. And but they give you a lot of free stuff: monsters, hunts, armor sets. Like they don't give them to you; you have to go earn them. But they unlock it. Like it's pretty great, and that's going to continue for a while until by the they'll have an inevitable two, most likely two. I'll know about it earlier. My friend is working directly with that and is responsible for writing a lot of the story in the game right now, and almost 100% of the translation, which is great. So he's the one who told me there was going to be a hub update 3 months before anyone else knew. I just couldn't say it right away. But anyways, so yeah, it will be inevitable DLC that you'll have to pay for. It'll be $30, and there'll probably be 2 of them.
Nice. So I got to play a demo of Aneta, and it's basically Grand Theft Auto meets Genshin Impact, and it was super fun. You can run around this giant city and
Yakuza. Then gotcha.
If Yakuza was cute little anime girls.
Yeah. So Yakuza got.
But you can get around the city in 3 different ways. You can drive, you can swing around like Spider-Man, and you can fly. And the weapons are fun. I didn't get to like play any like cool characters or anything. I just got to play like one chick with the roller skates, which roller skating through the city was a lot of fun. There's interactions all over the place. That was a blast. And outside of that, all I did was play Genshin because Venti just dropped, and I really want to get Venti because I'm trying to pull all the Archons. So yeah, that's pretty much all I played.
Anything you want.
But there is a subject I want to talk to you about, and that is this string of deep fake movie trailers. So, like I said earlier, my wife got all excited for a brand new 2026 Twilight Chapter 6 movie. And she was super excited for it, and turns out it was an AI thing. I got fooled because I seen the Legends of Dragoon remake trailer, and I was like, it's happening. Turned out it was AI. Super sad.
Well, I will say on a note to that, I am part of an alpha test for somebody who is working on pretty much a beautification of Legend of Dragoon. It's going to be kind of like an independent thing, and I'm helping him test it, and it's pretty cool so far.
That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was wondering,
But
have you came across any AI videos that got you excited that you found out was fake?
so first, my standpoint on AI, it's really cool. You can do some insane things with AI prompting. There was, I'm gonna stick to this. It's not a tangent, I swear. So, one of my D&D groups, we have a lore keeper. It's our DM's wife. She's a player and she's also our lore keeper because she has the best memory out of all of us and she's the fastest typer. So, um, she took the entire session and put it into this one AI generator that literally generated it into a podcast with two hosts, male and female, each with their own independent personalities, and spoke like they made this podcast interesting. So that means it completely formulated a story, brought two non-existent people into existence with personalities. I thought it was real. I was like, wait a minute, so this is like, because she didn't tell us anything, she just started playing it. So I'm old, so I was like, whoa, who did you contact? What podcast did you contact? Where can I watch more of this? Because they're talking about my character, like they were like, and then there's this guy who is a werewolf, but he's also a witcher. Like, um, so that's the first time I was really fooled by AI, and I fell for it again. I was like, okay, after seeing all these things with like these images with like three fingers and this, that, whatever, I got fooled on a Mega Man X trailer for
Oh,
a Mega Man like HD full 3D master. It's not like this like shitty Mega Man X. What was the one that introduced Axel? Was that seven? Seven.
yeah.
Seven. Um, but zero, number one, pour one out. Um, I am forever a zero player. Hence why I like Johnny Young Bosch so much. Anyways, so yes, I was fooled on that. So much so that I contacted my cousin, who I grew up with playing Mega Man 2, and then when Mega Man X hit, ooh, it was in. I was sealed as the only full Nintendo exclusive besides Super Metroid that I will always have a 100%. Oh, Star Fox 64, 100% place in my heart. But it has to be no Killer Instinct as well. Killer Instinct. That was Super Nintendo though.
That was Sega.
I remember. No, there was Super Nintendo.
No,
Killer
it was
Instinct was a
Sega.
black. It was black cartridge, and because I remember Mortal Kombat was on Sega, and Killer Instinct came out on Super Nintendo. I still have it. It's a black cartridge. I ordered for the game guide for it, and I didn't get it till 3 weeks after the game came out. Black cartridge, Killer Instinct, full gore. I
Killer
actually
Instinct.
played combo.
Okay, so I googled it. Like, where did this come out on? It originated in the arcades in 1994, released, published by Midway and Nintendo, and released on Sega, Genesis, and then later on Super Nintendo, which is crazy.
I didn't know that at all. It's been some kind of deal or something. But I remember there was this one video because I remember.
Hold on,
do you remember?
hold on.
Yeah,
The newest addition to Killer Instinct plans to drop late 2026 on PS5 and advanced Xbox consoles.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, so there's a new Killer Instinct coming out.
Cool. Like, look at it. The more you know. But I remember I was absolutely obsessed with Donkey Kong Country because I was in that era, like where I started off with on the Sega. No, my dad's Atari, and then to the Sega Genesis, and so I was just in love with that genre of like Sonic the Hedgehog, and that kind of stuff, like fast action platforming. But on Super Nintendo, I loved Donkey Kong Country. I loved it so much. It was so fucking hard for no reason, but I did it. I did that shit, and I was so proud of myself because I was little and I did it on my own. But there was this one thing where it was like a VHS that you got that was from Midway, and it talked about Donkey Kong Country, how it was made, little cheats that you can do, like little secrets you can go do, and then at the end there was this really quick thing where they went into this like conference room or like break room or something, and the guys from Midway were all playing Killer Instinct, and that was the first time anyone had ever seen Killer Instinct. It was only on that video. I have it somewhere around here, and I remember I was telling my friends, and they didn't believe me until I showed them, and they were like, "What is that? What is that? It's amazing!" And I was like, "I'm playing that robot." So, yeah, deep fakes, Mega Man X,
Yeah.
fooled the shit out. Called my cousin. He was like, "That's not real." I was like, "Yes, it is. Why are you arguing with me?" "It's not, dude. Look at this." And then he showed me like, "Do you remember ever in any history point in time, do you remember Zero having a cape?" "No, you don't." Because the AI was doing what my brain did when I was his. I thought Zero had a ripped up cape instead of a ponytail. So that's what it was for
Yep.
me. So.
Zero never had a cape. It was his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? So back in the day, there was an anime for Mega Man, and watching that old anime, there's two lost episodes. They aired once, and they're considered lost media now. But it was the Mega Man travels through time, and Mega Man got sent to the future. And what's funny is he gets sent to the future to live a flashback that's the future, but the past of the future. And basically, he finds out that Mega Man X is actually Proto Man, saved by Dr. Light, rebuilt.
I genuinely remember hearing about this.
And then Mega Man Zero, like he took up the Mega Man mantle while Mega Man was being repaired, but his blaster arm was unrepairable. So he put a hand on him and he's still able to absorb powers. But he was like, what can I give him? So he created a lightsaber and named him a Zero. So and then he gave him Proto Man's colors, which I was like, what?
I thought genuinely like because Mega Man was X that Proto Man was zero for a reason.
Yeah, because the colors match up, but no, Proto Man was saved by Mega Man and Doctor Light, and like Mega Man was heavily damaged doing it, but to battle Proto Man's proteges, he took up the mantle of Mega Man to buy time for Light to repair Mega Man into Mega Man Zero, and that's why he named him Zero, because he was the Zero Project, like he was Mega Man.
Mm-hmm. There was this amazing, and this is back in the day when it first started coming out, but there was a fan animation utilizing the art style and graphics or whatever of Mega Man X. They would create their own little movies, and they would use sound, and they would use text to make it. And there was this one multi-series called, it was like, it was a virus called Zero, or a virus named Zero, and it was all about if the Zero virus completely took over Zero, what would happen. It was just a really cool fan animation thing, and you can't find it anymore. It sucks.
Yeah, back in the day they had so many good things. Like, I'm still wondering what happened after they announced the Chrono Trigger movie, and then nothing.
Did you ever see this? There was this one crossover called it was like Super Mario Z, and it was like the Mario world and the Dragon Ball Z world like crossed over with the Sonic world. It was bananas.
It was yeah, that was kind of crazy. But I know I've been like AI is kind of running the world right now, so you have to be careful about every single video you watch. Everywhere from deep fake corn to just political crap. Like deepfakes are going everywhere. But I will say this. Everybody AIing Jenna Ortega in her, or not Jenna Ortega, what is her face that played Snow White? Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
Everybody AIing her and that face she was making. It's
Oh,
just some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. You guys can keep doing that. That's hilarious.
that's fine. Keep going with that. And like, if you want to, as an artist myself, where I create everything, and I used AI for a little while for in my images. I used that whole Ghibli thing, which I don't use anymore. Um, I'm totally fine with if you want to create an AI image from your idea, but then in turn create it by your hand or by your digital work, like create it yourself. Like you can use it as like a reference,
Oh yeah, like
but don't like sell it.
oh yeah, like AI. I mean, yeah, AI even like it even helps writers because like there are times I'm like I just can't make this scene make sense. I'll type it into AI and I'll be like, please make this make sense, and they'll be like, boom, here you go, and I'm like, oh, thank you for cleaning up my work. Like that's literally it. Um, but yeah, I like screwing around with different art AIs all the time and just describing characters in it and seeing how close AI can get back to them. So
It is like my like when I run my D&D campaign, which I'm actually starting my same campaign over again because my friend's wife wanted to try Dungeon Master and she didn't like it. So I was like, oh, well, we'll just go back into mine until someone else write one. But anyways, so uh, what what she did was, um, she would go onto AI and just describe the characters and it would make it. It was pretty cool
yep.
because she didn't have any artistic ability, so she did it that way, and it was a really nice little visual she did.
Yeah, I did the same thing, but a few of my lady friends in the DM group, she was like, "Why is the AI so perverted?" Like, I'm like, dude, you're asking an AI to design a girl that goes and looks at the internet at all the girls on it, and they're like, "Here you go," and I'm like, you're lucky the AI found it with clothes on. Like, chill.
Very true. Um, but like I said before, I don't mind using it as a reference. There's nothing wrong with that. It helps you get your ideas going, but like, don't take credit for it. Don't. While technically it is your own, it isn't your own. You know what I mean?
What, buddy?
Like, sure, you created it, but it doesn't make sense to then take that and use it as something that
I
you
don't know.
created. So yeah, that just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Yep. Well, all right, guys. Let's leave it there. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to go check us out on Rumble if you're on YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, go watch us on Rumble. Let's flip things up a bunch. Joel, where can people find you?
You can find me at flower underscore kimono captain. No, flower underscore kimono underscore captain. You can find me on all of the socials, including TikTok, where you'll find me most active. You'll find me on our channel here. That's where you'll be seeing my content, including upcoming streams and a lot of other things when I get my situation all wrapped up, as it is to say.
Yeah.
And so find me on. Currently, I'm doing very vague private uploads on my YouTube account, the same thing. But you'll find me mostly on TikTok.
Yep. And you guys can find me on TikTok at otaku underscore James. You can find me on Twitter at otaku underscore two underscores James there because somebody has my name. Damn you. And so and yes, to the one person that's been DMing me videos he wants me to react to, I will react to them. I will get them up on the YouTube. I know it's like a huge thing.
You could do that for me too.
Yeah, he wants me to react to this whole controversy with the Paimon voice actor, and he wants me to react about the in-game currency thing happening in Europe. So I gotta look at that because what happens in Europe does affect the American market and back and forth. So yes, I will get to those. I will react to them. Work's just been kind of crazy lately. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.